Hey everybody, this is Threshold Training's workout of the day for Wednesday, July 22nd. So we have a couple different pieces today. We're still sticking with our theme of steady, sustainable work throughout our workouts. Of course, until Friday, but you have to wait for that and you can guess who made up that workout. So how today is going to flow, if you are in person, we're going to do 4 sets of 3 front squats or overhead squats. I want you to keep the same movements and the same load as you did the week prior. So the week prior, what we did was a 4 sets of 3 front squat or overhead squat progression, and then we did 3 sets of 3 at that same weight that you built to. So we want to keep that same heavy load that we did last week. Do it for another 4 sets of 3, similar to what we did last week. If you don't remember, that's fine. Essentially, we're just looking for a tough set of 3 between either the front squat or the overhead squat. If you were at home, you were doing 4 sets of 8, so a little bit of a different stimulus, a little bit more muscular endurance of a 1 1/4 cyclist squat. So, if you are choosing to do front squats, okay, remember, elbows need to be high to keep the bar in our front rack position. So one way to help with that is to use your hands to push back on the bar and elevate your elbows. So my wrist and my hand will be actively pushing the bar back, okay, that way towards my head or my neck. Okay. Now, as I push back, that doesn't mean my shoulders squeeze together. It means that they spread apart as I'm actively pushing the bar back into my collarbone area. Okay. So, if we are overhead squatting, okay, we are thinking about pressing up and away from our body the entire way through. In addition, we are cradling that bar, so we have a slight broken wrist, not to the point where we're passive and it's just hanging there. We have a little bit of tension through that wrist. We're kind of squeezing the bar. Not enough that the wrist comes forward and it's straight up and down, okay? But we are still actively pressing through the bar, even through our wrist ever so slightly, okay? For both squats, we are looking for full range of motion, so our hips go below the parallel line of our knee, and then we come to full extension of our knees and hips. If you need a target, let's use that for the day. Our cyclist squats at home, you will need a book or something to prop your heels up on. You're going to bring your feet as close together as they allow. If that's touching, great, or if that's about hip width, fine. Whatever is comfortable for you and allows you to get as full range of motion as possible. I'm going to hold a weighted object, kettlebell, dumbbell, backpack, or heavy tool, and I'm going to squat down, all the way down, come up a quarter of the way, go back down, and rise. So 1 1/4 squats. As I get all the way down to the bottom, I'm active as I go up, back down, active again. So I'm not bouncing in and out of the bottom. I'm controlling it down, back up, back down, and then all the way up to standing. From here, we will go to our station rotation. You're going to go through 4 times. You're going to spend about a minute at each station, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Each station is as follows. We're starting with single unders. So if you have a jump rope, okay, we're doing single unders, 1 time, passing underneath our feet. You can also do hops over a line, single leg if you can, lateral or going forward and back. You can also do invisible plate taps. So imagine I have a plate in front of me, and I'm tapping that plate, or tapping that plate, or tapping that plate. You can also use a book or something similar instead of a plate if you don't have one. When we are doing particularly single unders, make sure that when you're jumping, you're staying on your toes, number one, and then the second thing is as you jump, you're kind of straightening things out. So you're straightening your knees a little and pressing through the floor. When you make contact back, I want you to quickly bounce right back up for the next rep. So you're not trying to spend a lot of time on the ground. You're trying to touch the ground and then rebound quickly without flattening out in your heels. Okay? What we tend to find is that when we jump, we tend to not use our knees to help us, right? We're staying on our toes and our knees are just staying bent. They're not really super active. So get a little bit more out of it by forcefully extending the knee and the toe at the same time. Then we are going to do dual dumbbell or kettlebell gorilla rows in the second station. A little bit of a different movement, okay? So you're gonna need two objects. Okay? You don't absolutely need two objects, because we can certainly switch it up if we need to, depending on what you have at home. But essentially, you're gonna have two objects. You're gonna straddle them, so they'll be in between your feet versus outside of your feet. From here, think of this as like a bit of a renegade row. So I'm in a bent over position. Okay, my hips are below my shoulders. I'm gonna press my hand down through one kettlebell as I pull the other towards my ribs. And I'm gonna alternate sides. Okay, our goal is not to twist. Okay, it's to keep ourselves square to the floor as we perform the movement. If you need to, you can elevate the kettlebells or the dumbbells in order to keep the position of your hips steady as you go. For the dumbbells, if you need to point them to the ground, then pull, fine. Or again, just stack them up on plates so that you can reduce the range of motion required for the movement. If you have only one kettlebell or dumbbell, okay, I will row one time, I will switch, or I can do 20 seconds on one side and then switch to the other side. From here, I'm gonna go do burpees to plate in the next station. So I'm gonna have a plate out in front of me, or a book or something you can land on. I'm gonna do my burpee in front of the plate. I'm gonna jump to the plate and then step back or jump back. You don't have to clap, but I will say getting your feet as close as possible to your hands will be beneficial to your jump. So make it every effort to get your feet close to your hands. Then last but not least, we will perform one arm box step overs. So what that means is you'll find a box or something similar, right? Sturdy bench, sturdy stool or chair. You will take one object, one weighted object, or at least just hold something in your hand, whether it's heavy or not. You will step up, both feet land on the box. You will traverse over. Okay, that would be two. You can't clear the box back and forth like that, but what you can do is you can twist and step down or something similar. Now at home, if you don't have a sturdy box or bench or something similar, what you can do is step up to your stairs, or if you have an object you can't step on but acts like more like a hurdle, what you can do is hold that object by your side and you can march up and over that hurdle, right? Keeping the knee high as you traverse over like so. And that works as well. Once you're done the box step overs, you will restart at the single unders, again going 4 times through. You're accumulating reps in that 40 seconds. So your goal, if you remember to count, is remember your number of reps between each station and see if you can consistently get that number each time you go through. So that is today's workout. Have a great Wednesday and an awesome workout.